Hello there, good people of the world. Welcome to another video and stream. Tonight we're gonna fly a couple more missions for the BushDivers VA. Well, at least I am. And I have been looking for a while for a tool that would help me determine the takeoff and landing performance for the K100. I am not sure. I think that Ryan might be using Ryan, the flight sim, the what is his name? Missionary bush pilot. He's using a similar tool, maybe even that exact tool that I have found more uh, due to more like incidentally than I was especially looking for this, but it looks pretty similar. I'm not sure if that is the same tool, but anyway, it helps me to determine what kind of performance I can get from the Kodiak depending on the airfield that I'm using, the kind of cargo that I have, the kind of fuel that I have, and all these different variables that you need to keep in mind if you want to fly and fly safely. So this calculator is available on pohperformance.com/Kodiak, and there's a whole bunch of JavaScript in the background, I would say. So first of all, what you're going to have to do is create a new aircraft profile. And I am flying the Kodiak 100 series number 2. And I'm going to just, for my bush flying simulation stuff, I'm going to put in my what's it called? The handle, for crying out loud, what is it called? The thing here. The thing. This is hopeless. Oh, wait a minute. Alex wrote to me. Still be working on that. Irvin and Kodiak comes first, though. Okay. The guys from Simwork Studios told me that they're first going to finish the Airvan and Kodiak 900 before they're going to work on the Kodiak 100. That is a little bit of a pity, at least for me, because I like the Kodiak 100 so much. But apart from that, it's nice they answered. Now, back to the task at hand. I'm flying the Kodiak 100 Series 2, and I do have, it doesn't really matter. We don't need it. We don't need every single pound. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I want to get an idea what the performance is roughly, depending on the situation and the setup. So we do have a radar. I presume that I only have a 2-port oxygen system. We do have anti-ice, of course. I'm not sure about the 5-blade propeller. I'm going to leave that out here. External cargo compartment, we do have that, of course. And I'm not sure if this is true here, but I'm going to keep the seats here, I guess, because the next mission that I'm going to fly will have a lot of have a lot of passengers, so I think that's good. So we can click on done for now. And the next thing that we want to do is let's pick up, say, what the heck? Why does it not pick up? Oh, do I need to connect to the sim? Not there yet. It's still loading. Okay. Apart from that, I would say that taking a look at the BushDivers website, the dispatch that I have running here, these are 9 passengers. The distance will only be 35 miles, so that's pretty easy. We're going to put in some passengers here. 170 pounds, 9 passengers. That means we're going to have to put in here like that. I'm going to leave out the co-pilot. No, I need him. 9 passengers. That's all that I can take on. No cargo. My current fuel should be... What is my current fuel? The Kodiak 4, that one I was flying last time, and I'm going to pick that up. We're going to have to add some fuel here. Gallons, like, it's not that much. The destination has, let's see, Alpha Yankee. It's Kodiak Airport. Does that have... It does have jet fuel, so we can go ahead and fuel up there if we need to. So we're going to leave it at 56. And we'll put in 50. No, that's, let's go ahead and usable fuel, blah, blah, blah. 382 pounds of fuel. 382 pounds of fuel. There we go. Can't compute, blah, blah. No matter. Doesn't matter. Landing CG is out of envelope. Okay. Too far aft. Maybe. Baby. Fuel used. We're going to click on done for now. The departure. We're going to set the departure to, I think it should be Morrow, right? Yes, we are at AYMR. There we go. It's going to pick up the weather and all the stuff that we have that is relevant here. The altitude, the altimeter, I don't know about that, but it's going to pick their best runway considering the weather situation. The runway is long enough for us. That should not be a problem. And takeoff. Looking at what kind of cargo we have, this thing is going to tell us what we should plan to use when it comes to runways. So 5 foot obstacle, 50 foot obstacle clearance. Is that foot? No, I don't know. 1,300 feet with 73 knots indicated. That means that should be it should be a good idea to have that amount of runway available with the amount of cargo that we have. About very roughly, I don't know. So that is not a problem with the takeoff. Let's see about the landing, the destination. We're going to land at this airport. And this airport has the destination. Let's take a look at what this thing has available. The runway is 2,800 feet long. Not a problem, really. And as you can see, it's going to calculate the amount of runway that we actually need, which is like 800 feet. Runway remaining will be 2,000 feet. So we're good. Let's just, for the fun of it, change that to I buy and see whether... Oh, does it not have this? IBA, maybe? Can't find data. The small airport? I'm not sure. No, that's not the right one. I buy. Let's take. I'm not sure what the code for this particular airport is. Come on, PNG. I buy airport. Maybe I can see it. IBA. Does that work? IBA? Did I not try that? Can't find anything about that. List of airports. Other airports. Unfortunately, I don't really know. Let's pick another one that's a little bit more difficult to approach. Was there some thing in particular? Madang is not difficult. Malai, Central, Southern Highlands. Morrow is not difficult. Mount Hagen is not difficult. Port Moresby, of course not. Tari. Eleanor, blah, blah, blah. Eastern Highlands. I don't know. Let's go ahead and take a look at the map. I'm a bit stupid here. Let's take a look at... first of all, let's go to Goroka maybe, and then work our way from there. There you go. And there are a couple of difficult places here in the Highlands. I think that, let's see, one of the more interesting airfields to approach is not that one. Simbai, exactly. That one is a little bit more juicy. It's long, but no, that's not the one that I was thinking about. Which one might be interesting? Maybe that one? No, that's too long. With one of those, I did have a bit of trouble lately. Was it that? Well, that's pretty short. We can take a look at this. So that is Alpha Yankee Tango Foxtrot. Alpha Yankee Tango Foxtrot. Where is my browser? There we go. Alpha Yankee Tango Foxtrot. If I remember correctly, it is going to show you the slope if it has some. If it's a sloped runway. It doesn't really show it, but as you can see, this is unable to finish. Okay, no big deal. But yeah, it should be okay, I guess, to land here. But you can get an idea of how this is working. So we're gonna go back to the airport that we're supposed to fly to, and that is this one here. And then you can go ahead and see whether it's safe to start, what kind of performance what kind of cargo you can put on your plane to safely take off and land at a certain airport. I mean, most of the time, simulator guys, there are some serious people who really want to do it like in the real life. Sometimes I want to, sometimes I'm just too lazy, but this is a tool that is going to help you a little bit with that, because it's I think it is meant for real life purpose. So there we go. We should not have any kind of problem with this on our mission. And I'm going to put a link once this recording is on YouTube. I'm going to put a link down into the description and everybody can pick it up. So let's switch to the voice channel, and now we're going to do a flight. The one flight that I wanted to do tonight to connect to the sim. And I do need my map here. Where is it? Fetch dispatch. Why does it not work? Oh, I didn't create a dispatch yet. So select this particular mission here, and we're going to pick the Kodiak number 4. That is the departure, the destination. We can leave the fuel like it is because this is not really a long journey. And then we're going to file the dispatch, and we're done here. And after that, I'm going to fetch it on the bush tracker, and here we go. So the cargo, the Kodiak 100, and we need Alpha Yankee Mike Romeo. That is Morrow. Fortunately, it does have parking spots, so I don't have to do a hot start. Oh, for crying out loud, leave me alone, you stupid interface. And Alpha Yankee. There we go. Candip Airport. There's the approach. Let's pick an appropriate... how about a helipad? No. Helipad. There are a whole bunch of helipads here. Let's pick that one. And we're going to set the time to a more realistic time, for me at least. And then we're good to go. It's probably going to take forever to load. Yada, yada, yada. Oopsie daisy. There we go. Oh, what is happening here? We've got a bunch of planes in the air. Okay. Let's get into the Kodiak, and first of all, make sure that we have the right amount of fuel on board and the cargo and all that stuff. Flight performance. We do not want to have... Oh, yes, we do have to have a co-pilot because that is the 9th seat. So, cargo in, cargo out. We're going to put in some passengers. I don't really care whatever these seats are filled with as long as we are going to use the payload. It's 1,530 pounds, so let's go to like 1,530. There we go. That should be good enough. And what about the fuel? We're supposed to have 56.3 gallons. That is about 28 each side. There we go. And then we're going to have to adjust the center of gravity so that we are not going to fall on our behind. That should be good. And we're ready to go. Let's turn this thing on. I've got a physical switch here. So, let's take a look. The NG value is good. We can turn on the lights, shooby-doo. Okay, things are looking good. Off, off, standby, generator on, alternator on. We're going to turn off this standby attitude indicator to get some FPS as usual. We already have the flight plan, so there's not a whole lot to do. I think we're going to fly at about, let's say, 8,000 feet. We should not go too high because it's not necessary. Oh man, I hate this. Okay, vertical speed 1200 maybe. Yaw damper on, nav on, and we're good to go. I'm not going to bother with ATC right now. Release. Let's take a look at where we're supposed to take off, which runway. We have... Go to user aircraft. There's the airport. And... the wind favors runway 09er. Okay. And that means we're gonna have to make a left turn and then a right turn, and we're there already. Release the parking brakes and let's get the show in the air. Oh, Mr. Skinflints, hello there. Unfortunately, you're not talking to me, even if you fly with me, but that's alright. I'm not gonna call you names for that. So, there's runway 09er. Let's see. Where's this guy? Did he leave? No, he didn't. What is a Black Square 208? Is that a special variant? Laps down. Prop full forward. High idle. What else? I put my checklist into a plastic cover so it doesn't... Oh yeah, altimeter. That's a good idea. Elevator trim is also a very, very good idea here. Let's put it on takeoff. It doesn't work. Does it? Why does it not work? As usual. There we go. Strobe on, everything else checks out. So, yo Skinny. The Black Square 208 Grand Caravan. What is this? Tell me, please. I desperately need to know. Please. We should switch to GPS here. Let's see, on the CDI. Go. Skinny. Skinny. What are you doing? Should I wait for you or not? I mean, I've got these are not passengers. Unless we took them apart and put them in cardboard boxes. I don't want to think about it. Well, I think he's still... Maybe he's on the toilet, so we're gonna take off anyway. Release the parking brake and hope for the best. Pray and spray. Sixty, 70 and rotate. What the heck is going on here? There we go. Do seem to have a little bit of crosswind here. No, not really that much. I should be watching my torques here and the ITT and everything else to not wear out the engine too quickly. We're at 85. We can raise the flaps to 10. We're at 95. We can raise them entirely, and then we're going to make a left turn towards our destination. And I don't even know the name of the destination, just the code. That is embarrassing, isn't it not? But I think this is the first time I'm actually flying to this airport, so don't be overly critical. Let's go ahead and activate the autopilot and make sure it doesn't kill us. There we go. Turn on nav. Yep. Okay, let's take a look at the map just to get to know our destination. AYNN, where is that? Show me. Hello? Sometimes I'm not sure about little navmap. It seems to be a little bit off here. We should put in some rudder trim to the left, because we're crawling sideways here. Okay, let's go back to the map. AYNN, this is it. Kodiak Airport. It's a little settlement here. It's a dirt runway. It seems to be pretty narrow, 22 feet. That's not a whole lot. So, and we're supposed to land. Let's take a look. Show our information. The information is outdated. That's alright. It is said that the best runway for wind should be 09er, with a little bit of headwind and crosswind, but not overly dramatic. So let's go back to our procedures, and we're just going to pick 09er, straight in, visual. Yep, activate. There you go. We'll see how this goes. But we're going to make an inspection of the situation once we're there, because I do not trust the autopilot. He's going to ram us into a mountain. Today, since nobody's listening or watching, except maybe Skinny, but he's doing something else that I don't want to know about, we're going to listen to some smooth jazz that is streaming friendly. Does it work? No, it does. Okay. My daughter, I'm not sure if I told you guys, my daughter gave me a little something that belongs to her actually, but this is a little, instead of wasting paper all the time, if I want to do real, if I want to do flights with real ATC, then you obviously you need to write down stuff, and I can do this. This is some kind of interesting little tablet, but it's not a tablet, it's not a real tablet, but you can write down stuff here. Cody, for example, and I think you guys can see it. There you go. And once you hit that button, it's gone basically. You can redo all of this. So if I ever happen to use real ATC, then I can use this instead of wasting paper, which is nice. I'm not sure where they got it from, some kind of toy store, I think. But it's a nice nice little helper. Oh, I should be reducing the RPM to like 2000, otherwise we're going to waste fuel unnecessarily, and we don't have a whole lot of it. We're already in the yellow, and it's warning us of fuel. Let's go to 1200. Torques. Or 20 miles. I think we should fly a little bit higher, actually. Let's go to 9,000. Just to make sure that we do not crash into the mountain. The weather looks pretty good today. There's not a whole lot to complain about, really. Let's open up the flight plan. We're supposed to be at 9,000. The airport is at 8,000. Oh, dude. That was a good idea to actually raise the altitude, because the airport is, the final for the airport is at 8.5, so... There it makes sense to be a little bit higher. There we go. There's the top of descent. It's very late because the final destination is very high, so we don't have to do a whole lot of descending. That, of course, is one of the few things that you should look up ahead, how high the destination airport is. Otherwise, you know, I didn't do that. Let's reduce the speed here. And I have a strong feeling that the airport is not going to be easy to approach, really. Still a couple miles out. Are we going to hit this ridge here? No. Only that one. Let's see about that. Looking at the map, I would say that we're going to have to turn right before this thing here comes up. As you can see, on the radar, we have a little bit of a cloud mass here. That should be this area. And before we hit it, we're going to have to turn right. So somewhere into the valley here, maybe. I think I'm going to fly manually from here on. Reduce the speed a little. Maybe the airport is actually behind that ridge. As I said, I have not been here before, so I don't really know what it all looks like. Let's just go ahead and climb a little bit. We can descend at any time, anywhere, but we cannot... it's not easy to climb quickly to avoid crashing into a mountain. No, it's behind that ridge, okay. Yeah, I think we can lower the flaps already because we're going to have to slow down a whole lot. Let's take a look.
500.
Can't see anything yet.
500.
Yeah, Betty, it's alright. I know what I'm doing most of the time. Lower the flaps to 20. Yeah, according to the map, to little nav map, I haven't been here before, so as far as I can see, yep. You guys good back there in your cardboard boxes? I'm not sure. But at least they're not going to puke onto my seats. That is a little bit of a positive. So, where is the runway? It looks like this might be it. We'll see. Let's do a little flyover, just to get to know what we're dealing here. What we're dealing with here. Pretty nice place here. Nice jungle, nice little lakes. Oh, there's Skinny. He's gonna overtake us, I think. Oh, the runway looks nice. I think we can do a fly-in right here. We don't have to make an inspection. There probably not going to be any animals. That were his last words. Lower the flaps fully. And lower the speed. We should be flying not a whole lot slower than 70 because we're pretty heavy right now. Somewhere between 70 and 75 would be a good approach speed, I guess. On short final. The winds are pretty good. The air is pretty calm. That's nice. Not a whole lot of turbulence today. It's almost relaxing. It is almost relaxing. Oh, there's one thing that I forgot to activate. I wanted to let you guys have a look at what I'm actually doing here with the controls. There we go. I'm not sure what the middle of the runway is here. Let's put that onto the right side of the window here. Okay, there is some kind of highway here, or road. There's a windsock. We're gonna stay at the windsock here. And turn around. We should park on the highway here. There's Skinny coming in. Let's see how he does. That looks like a nice, smooth touchdown. Almost too smoothly. If I am buttering the touchdowns, I'm gonna get a penalty from the Bush Flyer system. I'm not supposed to land with like 1 feet per minute, because that is not helpful. It is said, I don't have real life experience with that, but it is said that you can damage your plane if you're not setting it down properly. You should hit the ground with a certain descent speed. So I need to turn off this thing, otherwise I'm not going to get my money. Turn it off real quick here. Submit PREP. That did work, fortunately. And let's pick up another one. Buying contracts. We are at... We're not at Morrow right now. There we go. Now it's picking up right correctly. Frozen seafood. Okay. One of these guys doing frozen seafood here. We'll do it. Pay is good. The pay is good. There's another one. Mount Hagen. Maybe I want that one. 5 villagers on leave from. Well, we'll see which one is the better deal. So both of these are going to give it. They're practically the same when it comes to the distance. This one I would have to split up. Considering the airport here, I would say that about not more than 2,000 pounds of cargo. I should split it to something about this here. 3.8. And this is going to get me $3,000. So I would say, and it is a shorter distance, so I would say this here is the better deal. Now we can cancel that. Yep. And we can also cancel this one here. And we're going to take that. We will have to add some fuel because we're almost empty. 40. Let's add some fuel to, like, I don't know. At the destination, we will have. It's expensive, but in cases of emergency, we would be able to add some fuel. Here, it is quite a lot cheaper. So let's put in some more, like 200. There we go. And the destination will be AQ, blah, blah, blah. Put in here. So we're close to how much the Kodiak can take on when it comes to cargo. And let's file the dispatch and pick it up here and see what we're gonna have to do. We will have to add some cargo. We can remove the co-pilot. He's still going to be there. He's the ghost pilot. And we're going to add some cargo, like 2,306 pounds. Close enough. And the fuel should be like 54 gallons on each side. That's what I paid for. And then we're gonna. That's as far to the front as it can go. 30%. The rest we're gonna have to compensate with trim. Okay, let's turn it back on. And hope we don't blow the ITT. We don't blow up the engine. 20 NG. Introduce the fuel. There we go. Where does the ITT peak out at? 350, 360. Oh, dude, that was close. I was too quick. So we can turn this off, and standby, and then we're gonna put in a new flight plan. Flight plan menu, delete, and our new destination will be Alpha Yankee Uniform. Back. Alpha Uniform Yankee. Oopsie. Quebec. Oh, there it was. Nah. I'm an old man. Oh, What did I do to deserve this? Uniform, please. And Quebec. Kumwareta airstrip. That looks about right. Okay, let's take off in this direction because it's easy. There's not a whole lot in the way. Doesn't matter really if we have headwind or not. Full idle, full prop, flaps 20 for takeoff. Let's reset the trim to take off. There we go. And everything else should be good. Oh. Release the parking brake and get this thing in the air. Airspeed's alive. We're at 50 and 60, and we can start to rotate slowly. There we go, she's taken off. Trim the nose up. Let's put in some right rudder here. Okay, let's wait for the speed to increase a little before we raise the flaps. There we go, 85, flaps 10. Let this thing accelerate. We're pretty heavy still, so it's no wonder this thing would like to stay down on the ground. Raise the flaps fully. And then we can make a right turn. He's still here. He never goes away, unfortunately. Let's reduce the RPM to 2000. We should be good by now. There we go. We'll leave the torques as they are. There is this one little X icon here which displays the trim that I have set right now. It's almost neutral. But if I, as you can see, if I put the nose down, it's going to go forward. If I put the nose up a little, that's the trim wheel, which works nicely after I've been using a software which is called SimTrim. Then the Bravo throttle quadrant sim wheel works nicely. Because I'm not the only one who's had that problem. The default set of the Bravo throttle quadrant has an issue with the trim wheel because it's not moving the trim wheel inside the sim quickly enough that you can actually use it. It's so very slow. I have to reduce the ITT here. It's so very slow that it's unusable, because you're going to have to do, I don't know, like 100 revolutions before you actually can put the nose to a useful to useful angle. Let's see if we're going to be able to climb above these mountains. I think so. The ITT is always pretty high here. Let's go down. Let's put the torques to somewhere at 1300. And our destination, I have been at this airport before, I think. Yes, I have. It's a nice little approach that you can do through a valley, which is very nice. Oh. I think we can set the autopilot to like 12,000. And then let's just let's just let the autopilot do the work. Activate. What was I saying? As you can see here on the map, I've done an approach at least once or twice, I think. The actual airport is here, and I have been at this one here, and then you can fly through this valley and do a nice approach on runway 0. No, it was runway 13. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna fly. I think we're gonna fly through this valley here. We're gonna descend into this valley here and then make a right turn onto runway 13. That should work fairly well. But let's take a look at the wind situation at this little airport. It's pretty short. It's only got 1900 feet of runway, so we should not be too stupid about it. It is runway 13. We've got 6 knots of headwind and a little bit of crosswind, so that's okay. Yeah, we should take care of the rudder trim, otherwise we're going to burn too much fuel. There are a couple of clouds here. They're not really any problem yet. I hope it doesn't get any worse. The little airports here are not something that you would like to fly in IFR conditions, because that does not really work very well. We're going to fly heading for now because I want to fly to the valley that I was talking about. Because it's a nice approach. I like it. Should be up here somewhere down there. And we might be able to avoid the clouds if we fly into that valley. If there are clouds up there. As you can see, we've got a little bit of denser cloud masses here. The yellow pixels here indicate that we have that might be a little bit of rain usually because the clouds are so dense that there's a good chance of rain, but it doesn't really concern us right now because they're far away still. So we're heading towards this valley here. You can see it on the map. The yellowish areas are lower. The darker the map gets, the higher the area is. We're going to fly into this little valley here and then make a right turn for final. And we could actually go ahead and I believe lose some altitude already. And let's go to like, I don't know, 6,000 feet. We could do an approach real quick so we know what we're going to have to deal with when it comes to straight flying. When it comes to altitude, yes, I know. Now let's take a look at what the thing says. The runway is at about 4.8, a little bit below that. So we can start to descend here. And I'm going to fly manually because I like it. What kind of music is that? This is a huge, what I'm playing here on Spotify, this is a huge list of jazz that is copyright free. And there's all kinds of stuff in there that, unless I'm streaming, I would not even consider listening to, because it's a little boring, isn't it? And it sounds a bit like a Larry Laffer video game. Lunge of the Lukewarm Lizards, or whatever it's called. So here's this very nice valley. Look at that. It looks so beautiful. And we're going to fly through here, and then at the end of the valley, we're going to turn right. It is nice. And that here might be a runway as well, but not for my plane. This looks more like a for some adventurous helicopter pilots who like to land sideways. Now the cardboard boxes actually make sense, right? Because we're not ferrying humans, but only parts. Not necessarily of humans, but parts. I don't even know what our payload really is. I didn't take a... Oh, frozen seafood, right? Of course it's seafood, not frozen. I'm not going to talk about it, otherwise I'm going to get banned by YouTube for cannibalism. So I think we should make sure that we don't go below the current altitude because the runway is at 49er. And we still need a little bit of altitude to drop upon it. So I think we can slowly start to make a right turn here. Let's put the rudder to neutral position. And then we're going to have to cross that little ridge here, and after that we're just going to touch down on the nice little runway. We can start to lower the flaps. Let's take a look. We're good. Should be somewhere ahead. I cannot yet see it, but it should be right there. I think this is it. Yep, there it is. So let's go ahead and lower the flaps even further. I know. Stop yelling at me. As you can see, it's a pretty short runway. Not a big deal, but we need to consider it. Final. Let's stay between some 72 and 78 knots of speed for a touchdown because we're heavy. I'm not looking to crash this thing onto the ground. I want my points, a proper amount of points here for a nice landing. Too fast. But look at these guys. They have cut away the trees, which is very, very nice. I like that. If people are doing their homework. So let's go ahead and flare. Yep, that was good. The question is, where do we have to park? Is it at the end of the runway? There's the flaps here. There's not really anything that I would call a parking position, but let's get to the end of the runway and hope for the best. Nice houses. Yeah, I think I did park last time at the houses over there. But let's just go ahead and park on the road here. I guess they don't mind. Okay. So far so good. Parking brake, cut off the fuel, and turn off the avionics for a second. Submit PREP. What? Error submitting PREP. Did it not register the flight or what? Oh, fuck me. Oh, dude. Why in God's name does it not work? Well, I guess then I'm gonna have to put it manually because the system has left me in a pickle. Fuel used in gallons, that was about 92 sim fuel to 170. 107 was like 8 and 7, 15 gallons of fuel. The distance was I don't know. What was the distance? Sweet Mother of God. Let's go ahead and take a look. The dispatches, the distance was 41 0.6. And the flight time was, well, I seriously don't know, but let's say I didn't take a look. We're flying at about 130, 140, maybe about 25 minutes, I don't know. Submit PREP for review. There we go. Yeah, that should be about right. Same distance, same time. Here we go. For this, I will only get 5 points, which is silly, considering... Oh, don't get me started. Cancel a flight. Yes, please. Okay, let's do one more tonight. Find contracts. What's the time? 21:48. We are here at 9 NGO staff. Oh, that one is paid quite well, but it's a little bit farther away. What is that? To AJ. What is AJ? I think I've been here before. There's a lodge. A J. Let's see. AJ. Here we go. That's a little tarmac runway, actually. I'm going to show you guys on the map. Here we are. Seems to have tarmac or bitumen or something like that. It's pretty high in the air, like 6,500 feet. And we are here. Now we're going to have to fly here. But the approach looks pretty simple. There's not too many high mountains around this place. And we've got proper runways, even with parking positions. Look at that. Okay, we're going to do this job. But we're going to have to split it, because I can't take on that much cargo. The Kodiak. The condition is getting worse, but I'm not the guy who did it. I really am not. So the fuel is pretty expensive. We're going to have to add a little bit, I guess. I would have to have a little bit of reserve here. It's going to be expensive, but you know. There we go. AJ. Oh no, wait a minute. We're going to have to split it. Yeah, we're going to split it to... Oh, that's almost too heavy, really. Let's go this. Let's do it like this. It's 3.5. That's okay, I guess. Okie dokie. File dispatch. And pick it up. Hopefully it works this time. Now we're going to have to refuel. And pick up some cargo. We're going to reduce it to... No. 2,110 pounds, something like that. The fuel needs to be at 101 gallons, which means, let's say 51 on each side. That should be good enough. center of gravity, we're going to put it as much forward as we can. Oh. Okie dokie. Here we go. Let's turn her back on. Stand by, blah, blah, blah. NG's at 20. Introduce the fuel. Let's see where the ITT peaks out at. That was low. Okay, let's kill the flight plan here. And enter a new one. The destination is Alpha Yankee Alpha Juliet. Alpha. Oh man. Oh, for crying out loud. Alpha Yankee Alpha Juliet. There we go. It's Tari. It's 68 miles. That's all right. We're gonna go to like, I don't know, a proper altitude that we're not gonna crash into a mountain. And we're gonna set it to nav. And the altitude will be like 12,000. That should be good enough. Let's reset the barometer. The altimeter, sorry. And we'll set the climb rate to 1200. Okie dokie. That should do it. And reset the trim to take off. Here we go. I think we're good to go. Full idle, high idle, prop full forward. Release the parking brakes. Flaps to 20. I think considering the wind conditions, what are they right here, right now? Go to user aircraft and take a look. Our best runway for wind is 13, so we're going to have to go to the end of the runway and take off towards the other side. I don't think that we have too much in the way when it comes to no, it's pretty easy. There's no mountain in the way, so we should be able to take off easily. Let's go. You can actually feel a kind of it's, I wouldn't call it feeling, but even on the virtual plane here, you can kind of get the impression that the plane is struggling a little bit with dirt runways. The heavier it is, there is a lot more friction on the wheels, and you're going to have to accelerate more with more powerful thrust, which is nice. It feels realistic for a noob like me. Okay, so there's the beginning of the runway. You can see the grass is growing higher here. It didn't cut it at this point, but I think we should be pretty good because they cut the trees away here. At that takeoff distance, we should not have any problem. Takeoff is set. Let's build the torques. Up entirely. There we go. Release the brakes and off we go. $50, $60, $70, rotate and pull this thing up in the air so we don't crash into the trees here. It's a little bit more difficult than I imagined. Okay, let's lower the nose a little bit to gain some speed here. And at 85 we can raise the flaps as usual. There we go. And at 95 we're going to raise them entirely. There we go. And I think, nevertheless, we're going to make a left turn and gain a little bit of altitude before we try to cross these mountains here. Build some altitude. Reset the rudder trim. The sim has been stuttering a bit tonight. The longer I have the sim running, the more annoying the stuttering gets. But I've heard from quite a lot of people that they've had some kind of difficulty with the sim. My nice friend Control Freak, he had crashes the other day. He couldn't tell me why, but there were some difficulties. So let's go ahead and activate the autopilot and let it do the work. We're going to take care of the approach. It's not that far away. Let's look at the map. The destination is somewhere. Where was it? This is the destination. So, looking at it, currently the weather favors runways 10 as it seems, with a little bit of crosswind, a little bit of headwind. So let's do an approach for runway 10. Let's put that into the system here. Select approach, runway 10 visual, that's good, straight in. That should be fine. Now we're supposed to be at 7,200 for the final approach fix. That's nice. We could do that, I guess. Let's turn back on TAWS until we... Oh, look at the heat in here. The frozen seafood is going to... should have probably melted. Oh, sweet dude, mother of God. The temperature outside is 12 degrees, so I would open the window, but if I do that, the sim is going to crash. No, the plane is going to crash. The simulator thinks that if I open the storm window here, the plane is just going to fall from the sky. I'm not sure if this is a realistic. I'm not sure that is some realistic behavior, but if I open the window, the simulator would tell me the plane just crashed. So I am not going to open it. We can reduce the torques to 12 to the RPM to like 2,000. And the torques to maybe a climb and cruise with 2,000 RPM. We could go to 1,840, but considering the altitude that we're flying at, we're going to go to 12,000. Currently we're at 10,000. We should be at 1,130. Maybe a little bit above that. There we go. That's good enough, I guess. But what we should also do is reduce the climb rate a little bit so we don't stall. Here we go. 110 knots is about the best climb speed to gain altitude as quickly as possible, I think. I was about to look for something, right? On the BushDivers Discord, what's going on here? They're gonna visit El Salvador for volcanoes and lakes. Okay. So we're looking at clouds here. Let's take a look at the radar. Nothing serious coming up. We have some thicker cloud layers back here. You can see them actually looking out the window. But ahead of us there shouldn't be anything serious. It looks worse than it actually is, because if the clouds are, you can see a couple of green dots here, but as long as these dots do not grow into anything significant, then the density of the clouds is not very big, and then they're not going to be a big issue. But since the radar is not going to be able to look at every possible altitude, it's just going to look in a certain angle to the top and to the bottom. So clouds that are very high up or very low will not be shown on the radar. So sometimes it happens that if you change the altitude, the situation on the radar is going to change. So. We're using about 260 pounds per hour, which is a good value for fuel consumption. We could actually increase the thrust a little bit, the torques to some 1200 and something. We can afford to burn a little bit more fuel and accelerate the plane a What's the ground speed? We're at 170 knots of ground speed, so we seem to have a little bit of... no, there is no wind at all. Weird. No, not weird, considering the fact that the air is thinner up here. That's the indicated airspeed, 140, and the ground speed, of course, is higher. All the different weather reports that we have in the area usually are coming from Mount Hagen, because I mean the little airfields here in the entire region, they sure as hell do not have any kind of weather station. Sometimes you obviously there's according to Ryan, it is possible to call people at different airports, call them using a telephone, and then hope that they're going to be able to tell you where the wind is coming from, for example, or if there's a cloud layer above the area. But the reference, if you cannot reach anybody, then you're going to have to take into consideration what you get from, what kind of weather report you get from places like Mount Hagen or some of the bigger airports here. And again, just hope for the best. That looks like a nice little mountain here. 4,368 meters high. That means it's about some 13 to 14,000 feet. Looks like a volcano, right? So round. It's got all kinds of cracks in here. As you can see, I did not fly over around this. I didn't fly over this mountain. Maybe I should, because it's a nice view. Fly around the crater area here. Unfortunately, one of the things that you cannot do with, maybe that is a mission, type of mission that could be possible inside the BushDivers system. What you cannot do is tourist tours and get paid for it in the VA system. Like 9 tourists here, each weighing about 200 pounds. That's going to be interesting. And I can make fun of people with 200 pounds because I weigh even a little more than that. So, there you go. Let's calculate this. You have 9 people to 200 pounds. That's 1,800 pounds, right? That's about, yeah, that's about the amount. It's a little bit less, actually, than the cargo that we're currently carrying. So it's not that interesting when it comes to challenges. Look at the clouds here. They're not dense, but they're creating haze. It's hazy up here. We just left the haze. This here, the area below us, this belongs to the true highlands because it's high, obviously. Literally. Real highlands. What is it with this stupid stuttering? I don't know, really, what's happening. In 2020, I sometimes... Hello there, Suzanne VTuber. I usually have... in 2020, I had the problem that the... once the cache was filled and it had to renew the cache, it's a rolling cache, basically, where it stores all the information from the maps. And when the cache is full, it's going to have to delete earlier parts of the cache, and then... The stream is doing very well so far. Thank you so much. How about you? You're welcome. As you can see, we're streaming flight simulation here. Is that something that you're interested in? Okay. Well, unfortunately, as you can see, in this plane, there's not really space for passengers, or... This is a rather small plane, but if you would consider it, we can put you into the cardboard boxes here and then ferry you to some destination of your choice. These, we're flying over Papua New Guinea, some islands near Australia. You're a designer now. And let me guess, you want to sell me some really nice artwork for my channel here. I've had that a lot lately, so I would not be surprised. Yep, but I can tell you right here, right now, I'm not interested. I'd like to talk to you. We can talk about all kinds of things, but I'm not going to buy anything. Yep, everybody is, but as I said, I'm not going to buy anything. Look at the pretty landscape there. There are so many nice little rivers and lakes and bushes and trees and whatnot. Oh, absolutely. I'm filthy rich. In my dreams. Yeah, that's just how life goes. I'm sure you're going to find somebody who can spend money for Twitch artwork, and I wish you all the best on your endeavors in that regard. You won't be able to push me. I am polite, but at some point, enough is enough, so I would kindly ask you to not advertise your work anymore here. But I do wish you all the best. Take care. Have a nice day, evening, wherever you are. There is so much jazz going on, dude. So nice, so nice. How far do we have to go? 22 miles. Where's the top descent? It's coming up pretty soon. But I think I am going to do a manual fly-in because I don't know the terrain here. We're gonna stay at this altitude and hope for the best. That's something that I do say quite often lately, hope for the best. This is like Yoda saying, come on, try. No, we're not gonna try. You do or you don't. There is no try. I would say that the mountains up ahead here, these mountains are in the way. Probably, and beyond these mountains there's going to be a drop. Oh. Let's zoom in a little here. Probably. Looks like that. That is actually probably this one here might be a volcano crater. Looking at the map here, it's this area, and it looks like this is some kind of caldera here, some crater, and then we could actually fly around. Yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna fly around right hand and lose some altitude here. Prop full forward. I wouldn't have to put the prop forward, but I tend to forget when I'm on short final to do this, or on final generally, and it's going to cost me a little bit of additional fuel, but I'm on the safe side. What is the time? It's 22:22 p.m. So, 20 minutes past 10 p.m. here in Europe. Well, it looks like a very easy to follow terrain here. Nothing out of the ordinary. It's pretty high, 7,000 feet, but still the approach speed's going to be a little bit higher than if we were lower, but other than that, we should not have any problems here. Let's consider the wind. There's no crosswind right now, so we're not going to have any wind, any tailwind on runway 10. We might have a little bit of crosswind, but not that much. So let's go ahead and make a left turn and stay on our altitude for now. So let's reduce the altitude here to like 8,500. Make sure we don't go beyond the minimum here. Vertical speed. Let's go. Make sure that we stay at 8.5. That should be good enough. And activate the autopilot. But we're going to fly heading. Hello, heading. I said heading. I'm still struggling with the still struggling a little bit with the Bravo throttle quadrant, so don't mind me doing stupid things. I am doing stupid things right now. I'm wasting fuel and energy. Holy crap. And then once we reach we could actually go ahead and fly nav here. Because, I mean, we're following the path anyway. And then we can slowly start to descend to the altitude that we're supposed to be at, which is 7,200. Let's go to 7.3. Yet see the runway, but it should turn up pretty soon. Is that it? That might be it. That is the runway. So I'm going to fly manually here. No need for autopilot anymore. We're a little fast here. To lose some speed real quick. Now it's going to yell at me because no, we're not going to do this. This is stupid. We're not going to make the same mistake as some other people who are approaching the airport with too high, with a speed that was too high. We can leave the flaps at 10 and make another go. Everything else would be stupid. But the stupid stuttering is getting on my nerves, really. Okay, let's do another sharp turn to final. And hope that I'm not gonna F it up this time. Reduce the speed properly. Here we go. Should work better now. Flaps 20. Flaps 30. And I think it might be a good idea to stay at a speed of about 75 at the minimum because of the high altitude and the heavy cargo here. Not any lower than 75. The long way is run enough. The long way is run enough. Sure it is. The runway is long enough. Should not be a problem.
500. 500.
Yep, bitching. Betty, you can stop
500.
bitching because I pretend to know what I'm doing here. The approach looks good so far. They cut away the trees, which is nice. Still feels a little bit odd to fly into this kind of alley here. Oh, mother of hell. That's what you get when this thing starts to stutter and you cannot properly steer the plane anymore. I hate Microsoft, really. These assholes. The approach was so good before the goddamn simulator started acting up again. They're not allowed. This is going to cost me a nice landing points because this thing just crashed to the ground. For fuck's sake. Okay, I think this is a slope runway, actually. Cut off the fuel. God, I'm mad. What is it with this shit software? Where is the goddamn flight model? I don't care. I want to clear the cache. Current data consumption. I want to reduce it to like 0. 16 gigabytes maybe. Selected size is smaller than the current one. The rolling cache file can only be increased. Yes, of course it can only be increased. I don't know. And I cannot even delete it. I could possibly go ahead and just delete the entire bullshit here. No, why not? Let's go ahead and delete everything. I can't. Select folder? No. Anyway. That's it. I'm going to stop streaming here because I have only swear words in my head right now. So I hope you people are doing well, and have a good night, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.